On today's show, we challenge two champions to take a backyard that's a beast and make it a beauty. We'll be taming tangled trees, lopping lengthy limbs, slicing shrubbery, and of course, whacking weeds. Who will make Mother Nature mind her manners, and who will be a pruning pansy? Watch and see as we pretty up our property on this episode of Tough Grit.
Hey there, Shannon. Shannon, Caleb.
There's no need to shout, I'm right here.
I can see that, but what in the world are you doing with that blow dryer out here?
Well, I don't own a leaf blower, so it's either this or me, and frankly, I don't think I have the lung power to do that.
That is an awfully stylish patch of grass you got there.
Oh, you should smell it. I use G, your grass smells terrific.
But seriously, Shannon, you need better tools to get this done quickly.
Well, what am I going to do with that pallet full of styling gel I bought for the front lawn?
Stick around, Shannon, because today's show is all about maintaining your trees and shrubs and so on. It'll be very beneficial for your yard.
Not to mention my electric bill.
Maybe your yard is being overgrown by trees, or you have a fence row that's becoming a real eyesore.
Or maybe you've got a hedge that's over the edge. Let's face it, when it comes to taking care of the lawns around our homes and keeping Mother Nature under control, we've all found ourselves in a big pile of tough grit.
And that's where we come in. I'm Caleb Regan.
And I'm Shannon Riley. Keeping our lawns as well as other property looking attractive and functional can be a tough job.
But we're here to help you with that job. And we're going to give you the tools and know-how you need to get it done right the first time.
And we've got a couple of neighbors here, ready to battle it out in a backyard beautification brouhaha. Let's meet our contestants.
Our first contestant is Eric Johnson from Wichita, Kansas. Eric is married and has two boys, ages 13 and 10. He enjoys hunting, fishing, golf, and coaching his son's teams. Eric grew up working summers at a farm.
I asked Eric if he could guess what today's challenges were, and he told me to go climb a tree. He doesn't know how close he is.
Contestant 2 grew up working on a farm near Anthony, Kansas. Meet Brad Mitchell. Brad is married with 3 kids. He's a commercial real estate broker and an outdoorsman who loves to hunt and fish.
Brad told me he came here to win no matter what the cost, so I gave him a bill for $750. I still haven't been paid.
Welcome, gentlemen, to Tough Grit.
Now is when you find out what your project is. Your Tough Grit challenges today are using a string trimmer, a leaf blower, and trimming a hedge and a tree.
For the first challenge, our two contestants will be using a leaf blower and a string trimmer to tidy up a patch of lawn.
And I'll be using string cheese. Not as part of the competition, I just like string cheese.
In the second challenge, contestants will trim spirea bushes along the side of a home and prune a tree. Keeping hedges trimmed and trees pruned not only helps them look good, but encourages new growth.
To assist you in your trimming task and your pruning projects, we have 2 experts here ready to assist you. Let's meet today's coaches.
Our first expert is Hank Will, the ever so knowledgeable editor-in-chief of Grit magazine.
Hank is the guy who's full of vim and vigor. I don't know what that means, but it might explain the smell.
And our tractor supply company expert is Tony Reeves, the helpful store manager from Thomasville, Georgia.
Tony isn't normally a procrastinator, but this week he can't wait to beat around the bush.
These 2 experts will offer their advice and coach you as you complete your challenges today. You should stick to our 3 criteria of accuracy, efficiency, and safety. And whichever one of you does the best in those 3 categories could walk away with up to a $1,000 gift card to Tractor Supply Company.
And the title of Bushmaster, though you probably wouldn't use that in a job interview.
Our contestants will also be using some great equipment today, like string trimmers, leaf blowers, pruners, loppers, and hedge trimmers. We also have 2 guest experts, Greg Gathers and Mark Graves from Custom Tree Care of Topeka, Kansas, to give us some pruning advice.
Now, before we begin today's challenges, let's go to our experts as they give Eric and Brad the know-how they need to compete in today's challenges.
Today we're going to be using the Cub Cadet stream trimmer. There's different kinds of trimmers, either gas or electric, and there's also a lot of different head attachments that you can use for these things.
So what should I look for when buying a trimmer?
Well, it's important to find the trimmer that has the right attachments for you and the job that you're going to be doing. For example, some you can get with a edger attachment or a bush cutter attachment or even a tiller attachment. So it's very important to pick the right trimmer that you can get the right attachments to do the right job the first time. It's going to be a little more in the investment, but in the long run it's going to save you money and time.
Eric, if you're not familiar with operating a string trimmer, you want to take some time to practice because you can tear up your perennial plants and you can strip bark off of trees if you get them too close. You know, and you want to avoid doing that, especially to your trees, because you can invite disease, and if you actually strip the bark off all the way around the tree, there's a good chance it'll be girdled and it'll wilt and die.
Another yard problem is leaves falling. And what happens is they'll make a layer on the grass and it'll smother the grass. It could kill the grass. So even though raking is a fun, hard-working job, using a leaf blower can really quicken the job up and make it a lot easier.
So Hank, what else can I do with this leaf blower?
Well, you know, some models can convert to a vacuum that will help you pick up the leaves, it'll shred them and deposit them in a bag for you. And otherwise, you can use it virtually in any season. You can use it in the summertime to blow the grass clippings off of your sidewalk or driveway. You could also use it to blow the dirt or dust or wood chips out of your workshop or your garage. You can do all kinds of things with it.
Just like string trimmers, blowers come in different varieties, different sizes, also gas and electric. So when you're looking to buy one, make sure that you get the right one for the right job.
All right, it's trimming time. For challenge number 1, our contestants are going to be using a string trimmer and a leaf blower to manicure their section of a lawn.
Each contestant will use their trimmers to trim along an equal distance of the garden beds, being careful not to scorch the earth or damage the garden bed barrier.
No, don't scorch the earth or damage the garden bed area. Boy, those phrases take me back to prom.
Then they'll pick up the leaf blowers, blow out the leaves away from the house, and then rake them up and bag them. First one done wins. Good luck, guys.
Ready, set, go.
Eyes and ears, eyes and ears. Keep it floored, keep it floored. Very good, good. Watch that scorched earth. There you go. All right, you're good. You're good. That's good, that's good, that's good.
It's about equal at this point as the guys move on to the leaf blowers, blowing those leaves away from the house.
There you go. Work all the way back in the corner. Yeah, yeah.
All right, let me see the tip of that.
This is where I usually just dump it over my neighbor's gate.
There you go.
Brad using his hands to get that thick stuff out of those garden beds.
Stay tuned to Tough Grit as our contestants continue to go for broke in our backyard bushwhacking brouhaha right after these messages.
Hedges of various forms have been used for hundreds of years as a means to enclose gardens and mark land ownership boundaries. And in the vast cultivated fields of the world's agricultural lands, hedgerows surrounding the fields offer sanctuary to the local wildlife population that was displaced by the plow. In addition to providing habitat for wildlife, well-constructed multi-row hedges, called shelter belts, offer sufficient benefit to the landowner that there is really no reason not to plant them. Here's why. Shelter belts can cut your wintertime heating bill by up to 30% by protecting barns and dwellings from winter's cold winds. They can trap moisture in the form of snow that will help recharge soil moisture. Mature shelter belts supply firewood in the form of thinnings and windfall limbs. These plantings significantly reduce your cooling bill in summer when situated to shade dwellings from the late afternoon sun. When properly placed, shelter belts reduce your need to shovel or plow snow. They can provide shade for your livestock in summer and protection from the wind in winter. They can supply nuts and fruit depending on the species you plant, and shelter belts can help keep your topsoil from blowing away. My ancestors planted shelter belts on the windswept Dakota Territory plains for survival. I plant them because it's what will people do. Either way, the results are compelling.
Welcome back. Our two contestants, Eric and Brad, have finished with the string trimmers. Now they're tackling the leaf blowing portion of this challenge.
They're both doing great. Maybe they could give my barber a few pointers. I hope they find that lawn gnome I lost.
Don't forget that corner right there.
Both guys really fighting these garden beds.
Switch to a rake? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah.
Brad's sticking with that lead blower. Eric's just using the rake.
Yeah, that's working good.
Trying to blow them all into one pile. Both guys gathering and stuffing into the bags.
I always knew Hank would end up holding the bag.
This thing don't stay open good.
There you go.
That's a good rhythm. I think we might be able to get them all in this bag.
It's hard to rake on a windy day.
It is.
Just about got it.
Eric, just this pile right here. Done.
Good job, gentlemen. That's it. Come on down. Great competition. You guys worked really hard, but I think we have a winner, eh, Caleb?
Yep, good job by both teams. You both cleared your area. Eric, you just did a little quicker time, no time penalties. You just picked up a $500 gift card to Tractor Supply.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Eric. What do you owe your success to?
Pure Hank.
I've said that many times. Great job. What are you going to do to come back and win on the next challenge?
Have lunch and work harder.
Right, well, those are both good plans, but you need to make sure you clean up those trimmings. So, if you want to, you can borrow my blow dryer.
While I straighten Shannon out on his yard equipment, you stay with us for more Tough Grit right after this.
Welcome back, and thanks for hanging with Tough Grit. We're ready to go to our guest experts from Custom Tree Care about tree and hedge trimming.
Hey, thanks for being here today, Mark. Can you tell us something about the shrubs we're going to be working on?
Sure. This is a bridle's wreath spirea, which is a very common shrub in this part of the country because of its drought hardiness and its ability to withstand the extreme winter weather. It gets clusters of elongated white flowers in the spring, thus the name bridle's wreath, and it's an extremely pretty much bulletproof shrub that does well in this part of the country.
Mark, is this a shrub that needs to be pruned?
Yes, all shrubs at some point during the year do need to be pruned. Maintenance is very important, especially with a spirea, which will tend to get disease issues on extremely dry years. And try to, whenever possible, cut it back to a bud. If not possible, if you're using gas shears like we will on this large shrub run, the main thing is to have really, really sharp tools.
Hey Greg, what are some reasons why we prune our trees?
There's various reasons we prune trees. The main reason in the landscape is to improve the appearance of the tree. Pruning also makes the tree safer by removing weakly attached or hazardous limbs, and can also improve the health of the tree by pruning out dead or diseased limbs.
How do we know how much to cut off?
The leaves are how the tree makes its food, and taking too much can actually have negative impacts on the health of the tree. A good general rule of thumb is no more than a third of the branches should be removed in one season.
It's extremely important, especially with shears, to keep them sharp as well as clean. The sharpness is important because if you're cutting and fraying the tips of the bush when you're trying to trim it, it takes it longer to heal, and you're opening up a pathway for disease to get into there. As well as keeping them sharp, it's also important to clean. This stops the spread of disease and fungus issues from shrub to shrub, and it's easy to do. Just mix rubbing alcohol 10-to-1 with water, and you can dip it or sponge it on and then wipe it off and wait for it to dry, and you're good to go on the next set of shrubs.
Greg, I heard that when you're cutting and pruning a limb that you should always cut it at an angle. I kind of wanted your thoughts on that, and also about using sealants when you're done.
Right, making a proper cut helps the tree heal over quicker. You don't want to cut it out too far and leave a stub. You also don't want to cut it too close to the tree and make what's called a flush cut. Pruning paint is something you see out there on the market, but we don't recommend it. It can actually cause decay by allowing moisture to build up underneath the layer of sealant on the tree. Let's go ahead and cut a branch off.
Sounds good.
And now it's time to start challenge number 2. Our contestants are ready to shred some shrubs and lop some limbs.
This one's all about accuracy. There are a total of 9 points possible in this challenge. We'll start with the spirea. The tops need to be even and flat, the backs cut away from the house, and the fronts even and running in a straight line, giving it a nice box look worth a total of 3 points.
Then our contestants are going to jump to a pole saw and a power pruner for real mano-a-machino competition on the limbs. A clean cut on these branches is worth a point apiece.
Our guest experts, Greg and Mark, will help us do the judging. This one's all about doing it right, so take your time and be safe. Any major safety infractions and that might cost you a point. Good luck, gentlemen. Ready, set, go!
The teeth on these saws remind me I've got a dental appointment next Friday.
I'll start down here.
When it comes to bushes, it's hip to be square.
All right, yeah, just reach over and get those ones in the back.
Hey, we're gonna have to drop this right here just a little bit. This area is higher than the rest of
Trying not to hit the house.
Not to hit the house, yeah.
it. I'd go down there and start and actually walk behind it and just come about 6 inches off the back and just trim everything up between, yeah.
Team Tractor Supply walking down the house, making sure to get those bushes off of the house. Looks like an effective tactic.
You know, trimming hedges like this is hard work. Matter of fact, that's why when you get really tired, it's called being bushed. When we come back to Tough Grit, we'll find out who will pick up the pruning points and who just didn't make the cut.
It's important to take good care of your plants you prune. Whenever you prune live growth off of a tree or shrub, you are taking away some of its foliage that it's using to feed itself. In addition, you're making it more vulnerable to pest and disease, which can enter more easily through the cut tissue. Before, during, and after pruning, consider fertilizing your plants. The extra nutrients will help them cope with the loss of some branches and boost the growth of new leaves to take up the slack. Also, more nutrients will strengthen the plant's immune system, helping it fight off disease while it heals. A balanced formula like our Groundworks 12-12-12 or a comparable product will enrich the soil, allowing your plants to absorb the nutrients they need more rapidly. Another option is a fertilizer spike that Miracle-Gro makes, which targets trees and shrubs, delivering needed minerals directly to the roots. While you're taking care of the plants above ground, don't forget to give the roots attention as well. Enrich your soil with fertilizer and organic matter, like compost, periodically. Not only will this give your plants the food they need to produce, it will improve your soil's drainage and water retention as well.
Our two contestants are doing a fine job trimming the spirea bushes, and next they'll move on to pruning trees.
We'll soon have our second challenge champion.
Eric, come out here and just... Looks like it's just a tiny bit higher here, but I don't want to go as low as over there. I think the whole ground shifts, you know? I think that looks pretty good.
Go down a little bit further. Yeah, right there in that area. I think it looks pretty good, man. I think we're more even than they are.
Calling it good.
All right, man,
Both guys calling it good?
Let's go check out our trees.
Let's set the tool down and we're just gonna head this way.
Here come two men ready to scare a tree.
Brad's reaching for the pole saw first.
Get a good angle at it.
Should I be worried that my dentist used that same tool to clean my teeth?
A little bit closer. Yeah. There we go.
And cut the weight off. There you go, yeah, you're getting it. Okay, now you're gonna wanna be sure to put an undercut on that thing. Go under just so that we don't tear it. I think that'll work. Yeah, I think we're stuck with that. We got a little tear.
Perfect. Let's do that again.
A little closer in, closer in, closer in. Yeah. Okay, then swing yourself a little, yeah. Got it.
There we go.
There you go.
Cut off some of the dead weight.
Oh, yeah.
Before you come down here. There you go.
Now he's getting smart.
Good job. Cut off your dead weight first. There you go. Good job.
Be sure to give it an undercut though.
One more.
Hold it. All right, now give it a back cut, yeah. There you go.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Great
Come on
job,
here,
gentlemen.
guys.
Come on in. That was a great competition. Good work on both teams. But Caleb, I think we have a winner.
Yeah, great job. When we got to the end of the bushes, Team Track Supply, you held a 3 out of 3 score. Team Grit, you were in 1 to 3 category. Then we went over to the pruning. Mark, where do we go from there?
Well, Team Tractor Supply did a really good job. They did have one tear on one limb, so deduction of 1 point, and then they also had a trip hazard because there were limbs in the way while they were trying to cut, so they had 4 out of 6. And Team Grit did a really good job. They had 1 deduction for a tear on one of the limbs, so they ended up with 5 out of 6.
So that brings the total score of 7 to 6 in favor of Team Track Supply. Brad, you just won yourself a $500 gift card to Track Supply Company. Congratulations.
What are you going to get with your winnings, Brad?
How about some Carhartt?
All right, that's a great idea. Well, you're not going to be left out, Eric. You won the first competition, so you also get a $500 gift card from Tractor Supply. Congratulations. To what do you owe your great success?
My wife just put me in the yard to work.
She had a good idea. And if you're sitting at home right now and you're thinking, hey, I can do that, well then get online and join us for our Rural America Challenge. Here's how you can be a contestant on Tough Grit.
To sign up, go to toughgrit.com and click on the I Can Do That button, or look for the advertisement in Grit Magazine. Don't wait, sign up today. I'm glad you could join us today. Now you know almost everything you need to know about some yard and tree care. And if you'd like to learn more, visit toughgrit.com. We'll see you next time. Shannon, what are you still doing with that blow dryer? I told you it's not the right tool.
Oh, this isn't for blowing leaves. No, I need it for Hank.
Since when does Hank need a hair dryer?
Ever since we had cookies for lunch. There he is. Oh my goodness.
Gotcha. I'm Caleb Regan.
And I'm Shannon Riley. And when you see us coming, you know you're in
Tough Grit.